Here's why Christian Zionism is a complete nonsense. Christian Zionism is a theological and political movement primarily found among evangelical Protestants, particularly in the United States. It expresses strong support for the modern state of Israel and the Jewish people's divine right to the land, as framed by the movement. This belief is rooted in dispensational premillennialism, a specific biblical framework that treats biblical prophecy as literal, ongoing, and directly applicable to modern geopolitics. Christian Zionists assert that God's covenant with Abraham and his descendants is eternal and unconditional. They typically cite two passages from Genesis to support this claim. Genesis 12:3, "I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse." And Genesis 17:8, "God promises the land of Canaan to you and your descendants after you as an everlasting possession." From this perspective, modern Israel is seen as the fulfillment of ancient prophecy. Thus, political support for Israel is not just a policy preference, but rather a religious duty that is believed to bring about divine blessings. However, this interpretation has serious problems. First, consider Abraham himself. The promises in Genesis are initially broad. They refer to Abraham's offspring, or seed, Zerah in Hebrew, without naming a specific child. Abraham had 8 sons: Ishmael with Hagar, Isaac with Sarah, and Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua with Keturah. Yet Christian Zionists assume that God's promise applies only to Isaac and excludes his other 7 sons. Why? All right, folks, hold on just a second. We've got something important to share with you. First off, a big thank you for all your incredible support. Our team's been putting in the hours, really working hard to bring you insightful guests, new and improved formats, solid, high-quality analysis every week. Our next goal, hitting that 100,000 subscriber mark and getting that silver button. Let's make it happen together. Every like, comment, share, and subscription truly helps us grow and keep improving. All right then, let's get back to the video. The traditional religious view is that Moses wrote the entire Torah as divine revelation. However, there is zero archaeological evidence to support that claim. Modern biblical scholarship overwhelmingly rejects full Mosaic authorship. Between 597 and 582 BCE, the Babylonians deported people from the Kingdom of Judah. The northern kingdom of Israel, made up of 10 tribes, had already been conquered and dispersed by the Assyrians in 722 BCE. These are the so-called 10 lost tribes. In other words, approximately 75% of Isaac's descendants through Jacob had disappeared by the time the biblical texts were finalized. Thus, the people who compiled the Torah primarily represented 3 tribes: Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. They were preserving their own traditions, memories, and political theology. That's not divine neutrality. It's human authorship shaped by survival and power. The descendants of Ishmael, commonly identified as Arabs, did not have the opportunity to share their perspective until approximately 1,000 years later with the writing of the Quran. Now here's where modern science adds another uncomfortable layer. Genetic studies consistently show that Palestinians share more genetic continuity with the ancient inhabitants of the land than European Jews do. Both Palestinians and Jews can trace their ancestry back to ancient Levantine populations, such as the Canaanites and early Israelites, but the proportions differ. Ashkenazi Jews, who comprise about 30% of Israel's Jewish population, exhibit significant European admixture resulting from medieval migrations, conversions, and intermarriage. By contrast, Palestinians often retain higher levels of Iron Age Levantine ancestry. Mizrahi Jews, who are from Middle Eastern and North African communities, are genetically closer to Palestinians. They frequently cluster together in genetic analyses and show minimal external admixture. In short, Palestinians, Arabs, Mizrahi Jews, and Ashkenazi Jews all share deep ancestral roots in the same land. They are not strangers, they are relatives. What we are witnessing today is not the fulfillment of prophecy. It is a blood feud among cousins. Here is the final irony. Only about 23% of Jewish citizens in Israel are religious, meaning they accept the traditional theological claims about Mosaic authorship and divine land promises. The majority, around 77%, are secular. They do not believe that God promised them exclusive ownership of the land. Yet, Christian Zionists, many of whom are not Jewish, insist on enforcing a theological claim that most Israeli Jews do not accept themselves. These facts expose the gross ignorance of the Christian Zionists and the politicians who support them with respect to the term anti-Semitic. If you hate Arabs or Palestinians, you are an anti-Semite. Anti-Semitism, despite the furious efforts of Jewish ethno-supremacists to claim it as an exclusive label for Jew hatred, is not about being anti-Jewish. It also applies to those who hate Palestinians and Arabs. Give this video a like and subscribe to Countercurrents if you want more.